George, so welcome. I know that there's a huge topic at hand that you definitely want to discuss. So I wanted to throw that right at the beginning. So just in case somebody only had a couple minutes to listen to this podcast, which I hope they listen to the whole thing, but if they only have a couple minutes, let's dive right into it. I know you've been talking a heck of a lot about the Strive course. Tell us what it is, what it does, and how you're able to help people right now during this time.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And thanks, Kip, for having me on, gentlemen. With everything going on with really, I guess, fundamentally 2020, it's been sort of one thing after another, and I have no idea what's going to come next. All I know is probably something else is going to come next, and it might not be totally awesome based on what's happened thus far. So, I hope that everybody, as we're going through COVID-19 and going through just all of it is physically healthy. And if you're not, well, then I certainly hope that you're able to come out of it healthy and all that. Now, that being said, if you are in a position where you can be proactive and start looking at really what's most important to you, I think this is really the time to start doing that. And so what I'm talking about is really increasing your personal resiliency, your professional resiliency, your physical resiliency, all of those things. Just because, like I said, we don't know what's going to be coming next, but something is going to be coming next. So the Strive online boot camp, it's just a 2-week period where you are detoxing your mind, body, and your money. I don't know about you guys, but a lot of the time, if I'm not careful, I'm spending way too much time staring at my phone. If it's wasting time on social media or whatever, screen time is way too much. If we're not careful, we give our attention to places maybe we shouldn't. I'm guilty of going down rabbit holes on YouTube or social media, and just you kind of look up and it's like, oh my gosh, what was I just wasting my time on for 30 minutes or 45 minutes, an hour? And then physically, it's like, I don't know if the pandemic's been good for you guys or not, but a lot of people are putting on, 10, 15, 20 pounds. They're not exercising because they can't get to the gym. And then it's also, I think, just a good time to be thinking about, how am I really spending my money? Is it in line with what's most important to me? Is it in line with my ultimate priorities? So that was kind of a lot. I just sort of dumped on you, but I guess fundamentally short and sweet. It's a good time to reflect and say, okay, is what I'm doing getting me to where I want to go?
All right, now that's not a lot. That's great, George. So when you think about mind, body, money, Zach and I always talk about, we teach obviously real estate specific, but we also say we teach everybody the same exact thing. Why do people come out faster or slower? Usually mindset, usually everything you're talking about. So on that note and how important it is, I have 2 comments in the question. One is, if you're not doing this stuff now George is talking about, it's okay. Now would be a good time to start, because to George's point, something is going to change again. It's just a matter of if it's a year, 2 years, or 10 years. Winter's always coming, so you might as well get yourself prepped. Secondly, what can they expect with the course time-wise? Because everybody's always worried about time. So if they're going to dive into your online thing, I know it's 2 weeks, but how much time each day should they be planning on spending?
Yeah, it's about an hour's worth of pre-work leading up to the 2-week period. So there's work that has to be done about just really clarifying and crystallizing what those priorities are. And, I think sometimes we talk too much about setting goals, but the reality is that not enough of us are actually setting goals. Fewer still are actually putting pen to paper. So it's a lot of exercises like that, of doing the actual work of figuring out, what is it that I really want? What kind of life do I really want to be living? And then when you actually get into the program, it's not really that much time. There's a component that says, I need to be exercising for at least 20 minutes a day. It doesn't say you have to be running hills or doing push-ups or sit-ups, just that you are physically moving. And then there's a handful of exercises that you're doing on a daily basis. You're practicing gratitude in the morning. You're doing some affirmations. You're setting up your thought process for that day. And then a big part of it is you're actually going back and auditing your time. And you know what? I don't know the last time you actually did that, but if you're not in the habit of doing it and you say, wow, the last 6 hours went pretty fast. What did I really get done? And if you're honest with yourself, I think that we waste a lot of time. We're certainly all guilty of that. So that's really kind of expect on a daily basis. It's a little bit of work in the morning. It's tracking your time during the day. It's making sure that you're exercising properly. And then at the end of the day, also going back and auditing how you spent the afternoon.
Oh, those are all super important things. Mind, body, and money. It's certainly something that I constantly work on myself. Do you have any, for the audience, do you have any stories or some case studies where, hey, this is what somebody wanted to accomplish going in, this was the results that they got going out? Because 2 weeks is actually extremely short. So if you can get your goals done in 2 weeks, I mean, I'm joining your program right now. So if you could give us some case studies, that would be great, even just one.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And I don't want you guys to misunderstand me that I am not waving a magic wand and taking care of all of your goals during this 2-week period. It's just a time where you do sort of detox all these things. It's taking a big step back and pushing back from the table, literally and figuratively, and figuring out, okay, my diet's been crap. My exercise routine's been crap. I've been blowing money and I've been wasting time on all these different things. So where we found the most success, really my big thesis about change says that great information plus a supportive community equals real and lasting change. So ideally, this is done with somebody else, or it's done as an organization or a company. And I've got a ton of great success within family groups, within companies and organizations where you can create shared documents like, hey, here's what we've been doing for meal prep this week. Here's how we've been exercising every day. Here's how we've been finding ways to save money and be smarter with money. And so you guys know that the accountability piece, the supportive nature of having a community around you, and I think that's a huge part of what you guys do, and a huge part of your business is helping people to actually make that real and that lasting change. So I guess I could point to, without actually talking about the names of the companies, those are the ones that have been the most successful, where they've had the highest engagement and people actually breaking bad habits and starting to create new ones, is when you're doing it with somebody else and you are linking up and doing it together.
So let me give you that link, actually, guys, for the Wicked Smart listeners. smartrealestatecoach.com/strive.
What did you not ask me that you definitely should have asked? I think first and foremost, you don't need to be an exercise expert at all. You don't need to exercise at all to take part in this program. You don't need to be an expert in nutrition to take part in this program. And you certainly do not need to be an expert in personal finance to take part in this program. We walk you through all of it. It's very step-by-step. I'm a pretty simple guy. And so I try to really boil things down in a way that I can understand, and therefore I think that most people can understand. So if you're just in a spot where you feel like you want to be making some changes, and you feel like, if you're honest with yourself, that you need to maybe take a step back from how you are spending your time, your attention, and your money, then this might be a good program.